Hi friends, great to see you again. This is Yes You Can Draw Club and I'm your master artist, Pat Nepley. I'm so glad you joined us today. We're going to start with some basics today, so let me tell you what you're going to need for today's club meeting. You'll need a pencil, some paper, and an apple. Now of course you always want to have with you your favorite tool, the eraser. All right. Before we get started, let's review what we talked about last time at our club meeting. That with a pencil and a paper, you can do just about anything. Because drawing is about taking a flat piece of paper and making it come to life with some lines and some shapes. In fact, take a look at this drawing that I did of my son, Craig. This drawing is done on colored paper with just a pencil, a standard number 2 pencil like you would use at home, and a white pencil. You're going to be able to do that too because yes, you can draw. In fact, our friend Miss Gloria from the See the Light drawings does beautiful pastel drawings on colored paper, and she makes the story come alive right off the page. And she's using lines and shapes to do it. Okay, so let's get started now on the most basic part of art, and that's the line. So with a pencil, take a piece of paper in front of you and let's just practice and experiment with some lines. I'm going to say a word and you draw a line that you think matches that word, and we'll do it together. Okay. A light line. A dark line. How about a curved line? A jagged line. How about a flowing line? There you go. What about a strong line? You noticed how I switched to the overhand grip. When we were together at our last club meeting, we learned about the basic grip, like you're writing, and the overhand grip for when you want to really apply pressure to shade. Have you practiced doing that? I hope so. Because with all kinds of lines, you can make all kinds of beautiful drawings. In fact, let's take a look at some drawings by a very famous artist, Picasso. This first drawing is of the back of a man, and you'll notice that some of the lines are very strong, some of the lines are very light, some look like they were done with the overhand grip, like they were shaded in, and some are very fine. Now here's another drawing by Picasso of the famous composer, Igor Stravinsky. Now look at this drawing. You'll notice there's no shading. It is just a simple line depicting a man sitting in a chair. Now this type of drawing is called a contour drawing. Now that's what we're going to do today, contour drawing. Let me explain to you what a contour drawing is. A contour is an edge or an outline. If I'm looking at this apple, I'm not looking at the shade of green it is or how dark or light the whole apple is. I'm simply looking at the contour or the edge. That Picasso drawing was a contour drawing of the man in the chair, just lines. So if I'm going to draw this apple, I'm going to focus on the contours. Now this is an exercise that's really important for all new artists to really master, and I'll explain to you why. I want to train my eye to follow my hand. So I'm going to look at the apple and I'm going to keep my eye on the apple and not look at my paper. You're going to think I'm crazy. Why wouldn't I watch what I'm drawing? But this is so that you can get the eye and the mind and the hand to work together. So let's practice. I'm going to look at my apple and take my time. Track my eye around as my pencil follows along. Now an apple is not a perfectly round thing. It has its own shape. Take my time, only looking at the apple. And I think the stem is about there. How'd I do? Wow, My top line didn't even meet my bottom line. This happens a lot, and it's okay. It's going to happen to you too, because with practice, you're going to follow the contour around. If I were to do that same apple in the same spot about 10 more times, I would get it exactly right. Now, why do I need to do that exercise? Well, just like at home, if you have a muscle you haven't used in a while, you have to start off slowly, exercise every day, and that muscle will get stronger. So the skill of learning to do contour drawing comes with practice. You'll notice how my pencil line never broke. It wasn't a sketchy line. Sketching is something different. It was a continuous line all the way around. Okay, let's look at it. I think I got the shape right. What happened was I slowed down and finished up just a little too quick to meet the top of the apple. So let's try it again. Now I'd like you to try it with me. So if you have your apple handy, stick it at the edge of your desk or table, and while I do my apple, you can either watch me or you can do your apple, and we're going to walk through it together. Okay, take a pencil. Remember, eyes on your apple. Follow the contour, that's the edge, around the apple. Let your pencil follow your eye. Take your time. This isn't something you rush. Come back around. Fruit is such a great thing to draw. And I have a dimple and a stem. Okay, that's a little better, right? Now we're getting closer to what the apple really looks like. So this is what you need to do before we meet for the next club meeting. And we don't waste paper, so just do a couple of exercises on one piece of paper, flip your paper over, and do some more. Change the angle of the apple, push it further away. But the key to doing a great contour drawing is keeping your eyes focused on the edges of whatever it is you're drawing and your pencil point on the paper. What does this apple remind me of? Reminds me of the story of Adam and Eve. Do you remember that story in the very beginning of the Bible? God gave them a beautiful garden to live in, absolutely every tree and bush that they could want. But God did say, don't eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Boy, doesn't that happen to us? We have so much that we can play with or do, but just not that one thing. Maybe you can play outside, but you can't cross the street. Or maybe there's certain things that you're not supposed to watch on TV, and that's what we want to do. That's called temptation. But the good part of the story is God is always with us to help us avoid temptation. We just have to ask. And so this apple reminds me that Adam and Eve were the ones who gave in to temptation, but we don't have to. We have so much all around us that we can enjoy, and that's what God wants. So remember that story, and remember, God is always with you. So pray and ask Him to help you to always make the right choices. Okay. Now, boys and girls, it's not enough to just know how to do contour drawing well. We're going to learn lots of tips and techniques in order to do more things with a line. But it's important to get the most basic tips down if you want to be a better artist. Because yes, you can draw with some practice. Think about how you are in your daily life. Sometimes you really want to do the right thing, but it takes practice of being obedient to your parents or of doing your chores in order to get them just right. And you feel so good when you finally get it, right? That's how it's going to be when we're together on Yes You Can Draw. Every time we meet, you'll learn a new technique so that you can become a better artist. Look at our friend Miss Gloria on the See the Light pastel drawings. She's an amazing artist, but that took time and practice, and she trusts God with all of her work to do the very best to show those stories. Okay, it's time to sign off. Next time we're together, we're going to be doing some more contour drawing with 2 apples. Bye-bye.